Subaru has debuted the all-new Crosstrek for its third generation, and this vehicle is basically a lifted Subaru Impreza hatch, and spoiler alert, I do think it looks terrible. So the overall length stays about the same at 176 inches long. The front gets new updated headlights, making it look a little bit like a Mazda 2. You do have this piece of plastic connecting the headlights to the logo. The grille has a sort of honeycombish design. The fog lights look like the new Outback, and the fog lights aren't really that well integrated to the whole design as well. And you can see the plastic cladding that goes to the new side profile, and you can see these new wheels as well. And that continues to the rear as well, with this car's best angle is this new lobster claw headlights. And the back looks a little more cleaned up than the previous Crosstrek, and it's just its best aspect in my opinion. So the ground clearance has been lowered a little, 77.9 inches compared to the 8.7 inches in the previous generation. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of wilderness model where Subaru corrects the problem that they've created by upselling you a better model. But in the interior, this is where it looks absolutely terrible and outdated. And it's not surprising given the interiors that Subaru has shown us in the past, including the most recent one being the WRX. Front and center is a 11.6 inch display. I love tech, and I push for brands to upgrade screen size. You can watch any of the past Honda videos I've recently uploaded in the channel. But this just looks like a 2015 WRX with the aftermarket Android unit. Reviewers have stated that this is not intuitive and can be slow to use. Lucky for you, if you like gaming, I bet money that Subaru will have the new Nintendo 2DS in their system as a base model as well. And everything here just looks drab. The small helper screen is not great. There's a sea of plastic. The gloss black that they're showing for this promo vehicle is scratched up. And I'm not even kidding you. I'll show you pictures right here. And this interior just makes me feel depression for absolutely no reason. And if you look at the original XV Crosstrek in 2012 and you look at this, it just doesn't look a decade newer in my opinion. Still looks like a mid-2010s vehicle. The design and the amount of plastic that they use in here is something I would expect from a subcompact in 2023. Like if they still made the Honda Fit, the Toyota Yaris, maybe a Chevy Spark type of vehicle. And it's just not great for what it's going to start at over $24,000 and reach into the low 30s. They did work with medical students to develop a seat that holds the sacrum in place and supports the pelvis. In English, that means they made the seats more comfortable. They also reduced the road noise by using elastic adhesive between the roof panel and also the braces. Getting into performance in Japan, the new Crosstrek will use the 2-liter flat-4 engine with a mild hybrid setup. Subaru hasn't released specs for this powertrain, but in other models we see that it gets 143 horsepower, and the mild hybrid kicks in an additional 13 horsepower as well. In the United States, they could just use the regular 2-liter, although the mild hybrid would be a better setup, but the regular 2-liter makes 152 horsepower and 145 pound-feet of torque. You can get that paired to a manual, but I would be surprised if this trend continues based on how automakers have been doing manuals and discontinuing them. There is a plug-in hybrid version of the Crosstrek as well. Power comes from a similar 2-liter engine, and that makes 137 horsepower and 134 pound-feet of torque. The total system output is about 148 horsepower combined. It uses an 8.8 kilowatt battery and allows it to travel 17 miles on a single charge only, and it gets 35 mpg combined as well. Overall, I doubt that they bring the whole plug-in hybrid thing back again because it's just kind of mediocre for what it is, unless they redo it, because it's $37,000 before destination. The electric range just isn't great. The MPG isn't really that great, and the horsepower isn't great. In the base model, the Crosstrek does get 33 mpg highway, 28 city, so 29 combined. So this gets 6 more than that. With the 2.5 liter, it gets 34 highway and 27 city, 29 combined. So it's not really that much of an upgrade as well. And again, They could offer the 2.5 liter, making 182 horsepower, but I do hear rumors that they could use a 1.8 liter turbo, similar to the Levorg, that makes 175 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque. And that will probably be a good move because this engine would likely perform a little better in higher altitudes. You might get some better fuel economy out of it as well. I also hear that they're also developing a 1.5 liter engine for this as well. So they have a bunch of options that they could use for these powertrains for the Subaru Crosstrek. And I'll continue to make up videos. I'm kind of updating everyone as soon as more details come out because this was based off a Japanese press release. In the end, we do know that this will be completed with a CVT as well as an all-wheel drive system as well. One more thing that Subaru updated was the Eyesight system, which gets a new stereo wide-angle camera, which improves the accuracy of identifying motorcyclists and also pedestrians. But those are pretty much the updates for the Subaru Crosstrek. In my opinion, I do think it's fairly mediocre. I don't really see the appeal in it, but again, sales from last year were registering about 127,000 units. In general, just talking to friends about cars and stuff, I've heard at least 2 say that they want a Crosstrek to support their active lifestyles, but in my opinion, I feel like other vehicles in the segment are simply better, and I'd rather drive a Corolla Cross, a CX-30, or even an HRV, even though that's played with a terrible powertrain. But that's another video. And just equip that with all-wheel drive, and it'll look better and it'll feel better, but that's just my 2 cents about that. So tell me what you think about the Subaru Crosstrek down below. Do you agree with my analysis of the Subaru Crosstrek, or would you rather get any of its competitors that I mentioned here just now? So please leave a like, feel free to comment down below, and thank you for watching this video, and I'll keep you guys updated on everything Subaru Crosstrek in the future. Thanks for watching. Peace!